This episode of Distraction is sponsored by Landmark College in Putney, Vermont, where targeted strategies and individualized personal development models help students to become their own advocates. Learn more at lcdistraction.org. Landmark College. Learn your way. Succeed uniquely. Hello, this is Dr. Ned Hallowell for the podcast Distraction. I am going to deliver a mini episode. Lots of our listeners love the mini episodes because we're all in a hurry and want to get straight to the point. So let me get straight to the point. I would like to deal with the terrible subject of brooding. Brooding, ruminating. Something goes wrong, and then you just can't let go of it. You fail a test. You get fired from a job. Those can be major. It can be something really trivial. You're making a souffle and you mix some yolk in with the egg whites and they don't beat up properly. And the next thing you know, you're beating yourself up for the rest of the evening over how incompetent you are in the kitchen. We all know the feeling, trivial or major. We keep returning to the bad thing as if it's a canker sore on our tongue. We can't stop tweaking it. We can't stop brooding over it. So what do you do about that? Well, I've learned recently with my friend John Rady about the default mode network, and this is something I've spoken to you about before, but it's worth speaking about again. When you're not engaged in a task, so in other words, when you've finished up trying to make that souffle and you know it's not going to work out, your brain sort of goes offline, and the thought was it kind of rests. Well, in fact, the opposite happens. Your brain is more active than ever when it's not engaged in a task. And what kicks in is called the default mode network, the DMN. I call it the demon, the DMN, because it behaves like a demon. When your brain is in repose, so to speak, the demon shoots up all kinds of negative messages. Because two of the centers that light up have to do with memory and emotion, the hippocampus and the amygdala. And the DMN just shoots up this geyser of negative stuff. You're bad, life is bad, everything's bad, nothing will work, just catastrophic outcomes. And you pay attention to it, you see, because misery is gripping. You don't say he was riveted in contentment, but you do say he or she was riveted in misery, fear, anger, rumination. And the content draws you in. It sucks you in. It's magnetic, the demon. So my message is don't feed the demon, please. How do you not feed it? You don't give it your attention. How do you not give it your attention? It's so gripping. There's a disaster. You want to look at it, i.e. your own life, or how you imagine your own life. What you have to do, as hard as it is focus on something else, anything else. Call a friend, do a crossword puzzle, but it's got to be engaging enough to get you off the negative content that the demon is feeding you. If nothing else, focus on your breathing. And you can develop a breathing pattern that's complicated enough that you have to pay attention to your breathing in order to follow it. So 6 beats in, hold 4 beats, 7 beats out, hold 3 beats, 8 beats in, hold 5 beats, 6 beats out, whatever it is. And you can write down the pattern. So you have to focus on that. You have to focus on that breathing pattern. Well, the minute you focus on something else, the minute you stop feeding the demon with your attention, the brooding stops. It just stops dead in its tracks. You suffocate the demon. This is one of the most valuable insights I've learned in the past 5 years. It is so common in my life and in the lives of millions and millions and millions of people to brood, ruminate, and just pollute our inner lives with these negative streams, these geysers of horribleness that we feel we're slave to, that we don't know how to stop, that we take meds for, that we go to psychotherapy for, that we feel cursed by. Well, the solution is right at hand. It is simply to learn how to give your attention to something else. And if nothing else is available, Focus on your breathing, but make it a complicated breathing pattern so you have to pay attention to it to do it. The minute you do that, the minute you take your attention away from the demon, away from this negative geyser, it will suffocate and for the moment die. Until the next time it rises up. And the next time you do the same thing again. It's a remarkably effective tool to combat a horribly destructive demon, the default mode network. Please call us, email us, contact us with your suggestions, your comments. Go to iTunes, leave a written review. We thrive on these. We need these. We're trying to build a wonderful community here at Distraction. I hope you're going to have a wonderful rest of your day and week. With all good wishes, this is Dr. Ned Hallowell telling you don't feed the demon for Distraction. Distraction is produced by Collisions, the podcast division of CRN International. Collisions, podcasts for curious people. Our music was created by Mark Berman. Our audio engineer is Scott Person, and our producer is Sarah Gurton.